Habari Gani Mainduga Nadada. This is General Abu Amin Ra. My brothers and sisters, it appears to me that there are several stumbling blocks in the way of Africans throughout the world being united into one force. Listen, my brothers and sisters, we in the diaspora are needed in the upcoming global African liberation. We are located in the belly of the beast. So we must be included in your strategic analyzation and proselytization and utilization of the process that leads to global African liberation. Let me see if I can point to one thing in particular. Now listen, it's a good thing that some of the African heads of state and their scholars are demanding the repatriation of the stolen art pieces during the colonial period and even before the colonial period. This is a noble thing to do. Of course, they should want their historical, artistic pieces returned to them. But shouldn't these same people show as much concern for the people whose ancestors created some of the artistic peoples and some of the people themselves who created the pieces have been stolen and taken away to foreign lands and now live in the diaspora. They live in the British Empire. They live in the USA. They live in South America, throughout Central America. And they are in the belly of the beast right now, but you are not putting up the same effort to repatriate the stolen resources and human beings that were Africans and that were positive contributors to African civilization. It's a big mistake. You have to want, first of all, the human resources returned to you that were taken. Then you can, or maybe concomitantly, demand the repatriation of all of your historical artistic pieces that are now spread throughout the European world. We need one another. We need Mother Africa to seek our return back home and work for it digitally, just as they are for the artistic pieces that were taken and are now on display in American and European museums, and some in private collections. So let's prioritize things. The first thing all Africans should demand or request, or whatever you want to call it, is the repatriation of their stolen brothers and sisters and ancestors who created some of the art pieces and historical pieces that they are now demanding repatriation from the European nations and countries. My brothers and sisters are both important. But I think the creator of the resource is more important than the resource itself. I think, first of all, Africa should make a grandstand on the United Nations for the repatriation of all in the diaspora who were taken against their will to foreign lands and exploited and still are being exploited. And also the return of the historical pieces, the artwork, the statues, ceramics, etc. I'm with you. But think about your brothers and sisters, some of whom were stolen, many of whom were sold for trinkets and alcohol that the Europeans created and traded with them for those in the diaspora who went through chattel enslavement, just as you went through neo-colonialism. We are your brothers and your sisters. Some of our ancestors are your ancestors. We must begin to think at once. Remember, when the global African liberation becomes physical, those of us, your brothers and sisters, some of whom were bought, some of whom were sold into chattel enslavement to the West and some to Europe, first of all, you must show your love for them, your concern for them, your seeking forgiveness for the role you played in slavery. Some of your chiefs, or many of your chiefs, were trading with the European slave traders for our people. Some were captured by the Europeans. But we should be first on your list of demands for things, people, artistic work that some of the Africans are seeking repatriation for right now. Come on, Africans. Come on, my brothers and sisters. Let's wake up. Let's begin to practice true Pan-Africanism. Are you with me? This is not a put down. This is just a critical analysis of what you're doing and the actions you're taking and how they really divulge what's in your mind, your thinking processes. You understand what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters? If you do, as I usually say, once again, peace.